Okay, for both of you guys, an easy question to start with. How easy or hard was it to get back in the shoes of your character that you've played on stage on Broadway a year before for a movie?
I mean, I think coming back to our characters, coming back to the world of the boys in the band after doing the play was one of the most exciting parts of the experience. I think all of us felt like if it was only the play that we got to do, it would have been completely fulfilling. And it was such an exciting summer that we spent on stage at the Booth Theater in New York. But having a year away from it and then the opportunity to reassemble with the same group of people and having the foundation of that theater experience under our feet as we walked onto the soundstage to film the movie was such a unique and exciting opportunity. And I think all of us cherish it and are really so deeply grateful to Ryan Murphy and to Joe Mantello for maintaining that consistency and that spirit of collaboration that we all embraced so fully in the summer of 2018 and continuing it through the film last year.
Yeah, and I would agree with all of that, and also say that it was really interesting to come at it in a new medium with beginner's mind in some ways, because we had that sense of ensemble and understanding of each other in our process, but at the same time we had a new set that I thought was beautifully done by Judy Becker. We had these gorgeous costumes by Lou Eyrich, so the way we were inhabiting the world and relating to the world around us was new, and we had a great director in Joe Mantello who wasn't willing to let us rest on our laurels. He was pushing us to find new moments and new aspects of the character that we may not have even tried before on stage. So it was a continual evolution and development up until they called cut on the last scene. And I think that's one of the things that kept it really exciting.
Something that's amazing about that movie is that, you know, for how long, probably 50 years, that the plays had been on and off Broadway, the movie will be seen by more people in 1 week on Netflix than since the beginning of that play. What do you think of that?
Well, I'll tell you, one of the interesting things about getting to do it on stage is that you have those moments where folks come backstage after the show and want to talk about the play. And I was so struck. I imagine that folks my age or maybe a little bit older would have responded to it in a certain way, but I was so moved by how many young people really responded to the piece and saw aspects of themselves or their social groups in the piece. Like, I know somebody like Harold, or I know somebody like Michael, or Bernard, whoever it was, they could relate to someone in the play. And even though obviously there's been a great deal of progress since 1968, largely due to Mark Crowley and this courageous original cast. So I'm excited for folks who weren't able to see the play on Broadway to get to see it, and also all different ages of the audience to get to see it and experience it for the first time.
But it's also a play, Zach, a movie that people will see all around the world thanks to Netflix, right?
Mm-hmm. I think the one of the amazing things about being able to amplify the story of the boys in the band is that it will reach people who live in places that may not be as progressive as other parts of the world, socially, politically. You know, the idea that we all represent a group of actors who are out, gay men who are all thriving and successful and integrated in our own ways. I think hopefully will not be lost on people who might be having experiences that are more challenging, and to be able to see us and know that all of us in one way or another we're up against some challenges in our journeys that brought us to this point could maybe be a little bit of inspiration for young people in particular. So I'm really excited for that aspect of it too, to know that this movie gets to reach to places that our work on stage wasn't able to.
And I'll just say, I know we're wrapping up, but I just want to say that it also appeals to, it's not just for gay people, this piece. I think there are aspects of the story that will appeal to everyone and around the world, but also it's a story about the cost of oppression. And you don't have to look very far in this country either to see that there are people out in the streets rightfully and needfully asking for equality and justice. So I think there are aspects of the story that will resonate with everyone in 2020.